I gotta say, I do have a little bit of butterflies. This is gonna be a good crossing.
Yeah, it should be fun.
It will be.
It's our biggest one yet.
Yeah. And then I can just walk along.
Welcome back, everyone. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by.
We slept on it overnight, and this morning Cass decided to check the, not decided, he was planning on, but he's checking the antifreeze. And the strangest thing is going on that we're not sure what's happening. Check it out. Oh, whew, it's pretty early, little bags. When he extracted that fluid from there, it was basically a clear fluid in the syringe. So how are we supposed to know what color antifreeze to put in?
What was my choices? Green and orange?
Green and blue is what we've seen here. So we're changing the antifreeze, and the only way for us to know the color, because obviously you've seen, is to drain it first. So we're gonna drain it. We're gonna hope that that's gonna show us the coloration. Then we'll be able to track down what color we want, whether that's green or blue, and hopefully not pink, because we haven't seen pink here. But yeah, so see how this goes.
Whoa, whoa.
We think it might be the orange, maybe. But we haven't seen any orange here, so we're just gonna pick a color. In a color,
We're gonna try to find ethylene glycol.
Okay.
More specific to the chemical than the color.
Okay.
Supposedly the colors don't matter as much anymore.
Okay.
The manufacturers used to stay very specifically coded with composition. And from what I'm reading, that's not necessarily absolute anymore. So
we've been doing a lot of research, and one of them is to look at our boat owner's manual and the engine.
To start.
Yeah, and the engine owner's manual, and it recommends pink RTU. Long lasting.
Yeah, long lasting.
RTU. And wouldn't you know it, the marina right here happened to have it. Yay.
Okay.
So it was a 2-minute walk, maybe.
Maybe.
And we found exactly what we needed, so.
Right there.
Got a little messy.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
Okay.
This is locked down.
Okay. So here's the golden moment. We're gonna crank the motor and whew, see how she does. So we're working on our checkout process.
Checkout is always an interesting task.
Yeah. So we went to Port Police, which was our first stop, came over to the ferry dock for immigration passport control, and there's nobody who actively is here. So at the gate,
it's off season.
Right.
I mean, it's November.
Yeah, end of November 30th.
End of November. It's November 30th,
Yeah.
so there's nobody here because the island is pretty much
right.
just
So they're
tucked in for the winter.
So they're only here when there's a ferry. Well, there's not a ferry in port, and it won't be here until tomorrow. So initially they're telling us, you can't check out, you can't.
Till tomorrow
Yeah.
with the ferry, so we're like.
But thankfully they called someone, and they're gonna drive over here and stamp our passports so that we can move on to the next step.
Yeah, so now we just get to cool our jets for a couple minutes,
Yeah.
probably 5 or 10.
Yeah.
She said 2.
Yeah.
So in bureaucratic terms, I think that's 5 to 10, maybe 15. We'll see.
We have somebody on their way, so it's a good start.
Yeah.
Woo, we are checked out. We are paid up, and it is time to go. So, yeah, so, whew, I gotta say, I do have a little bit of butterflies. This is gonna be a good crossing.
Yeah, should be fun.
It will be.
It's our biggest one yet.
Yeah, we're as prepared as we can be.
Yeah, we are.
Looking forward to it.
Should be good.
Let's get it.
Yeah, buddy.
Woo!
Yeah!
Sails are set and it's time to head out. That's a big smile.
Glad to be out on the water.
Yeah,
You know, all the hectic mumbo jumbo of land just gets in the way of sailing. I'm always really glad when we finally just get to start sailing.
Yep.
Get away from the bureaucracy and just land in general is hectic.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes you make plans and you have hopes in those plans. Today, my hopes within plans have come true. It's open to have a nice, well, it's just forward of the beam, so we're still running upwind a little bit, but we're able to use the wind today, not so much fuel. I always love that. This is one of the few times in our Mediterranean experience where I've actually had to really conserve fuel. Most of the jumps between islands are 20 to 50 nautical miles. Fuel isn't a huge concern. If you have to turn the motors on for a little while, you don't even worry about it. But we've got 300 nautical miles, 300 plus, 326, 360.
368.
We got 368 nautical miles to go, which is beyond our fuel capacity if I did not sail. But that's okay, we know we're gonna sail a lot anyway. So we got full sails up, engines are down, and yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah.
So
She may be off here in a bit.
definitely once we make the next turn. At this point, we've got a pretty narrow channel,
Yeah.
and so I'm beating upwind, pretty steep. So I still have the engines on a little bit, just so I can keep a little steeper angle of attack. Just through this straight right here.
Yeah.
Probably less than an hour. And then as soon as I make my turn, the wind will be right on my beam, and the engine will come off, and I'm hoping to cover 7 knots.
That'd be awesome.
6.5 to 7 is what I'm hoping for. So we'll see what we get when we get there.
Woo.
Let's cut this number. Put that
Okay.
simple overhand knot in the webbing. Like this. Okay. And around. The nice part is I'm just going to follow. So match where you've come out, you come back in, and then you'll just take it and lay it right on top of itself all the way around until you've all the way through the knot. And then you just cinch the knot up, and it should look like kind of like a half Windsor, like a necktie. Anyway, that's the strongest knot for webbing. The water knot.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, measure it out. Put your overhand knot in. Alright, so as we add to our kit, we've had the harnesses, but we haven't had the clip-ons, which is a 2-action button. You have to pop this, push that to get it to release, so good safety buckle there. Keep one attached here. Shelly will show you the safety lines. Say that 3 times real fast. Shelly will show you the safety lines. Anyway, so yeah, so we clip in and we can move forward and backward on the boat and we'll have our life jacket. Shelly's, this clips onto her life safety vest. I'll have to wear a harness and then my life safety vest, because unfortunately my life safety vest doesn't have a connection point for a safety line. So I'll have to wear a doubled up kit, which is fine, not a big deal. And hopefully we don't fall in the water anyway, but if we do, at least we've got a meter-long strap hooked to a piece of webbing on the boat. So if you did fall over, you'd just kind of sit there and bang against the side of the boat and hopefully wake somebody up if you needed to.
Yeah, knocking.
So,
hello.
There you go. Peace.
Whoop. This is my attach point.
Nice.
Yep. So I need to go forward. Whoop. I clip on, it automatically locks in. I can't push that. I have to slide and then push. So it's a big release. And then I can just walk along. And I could go all the way up.
Just remember, one for the boat.
One for the boat and one for the self. So I keep one hand on the boat, either here or here. Safety first.
Yeah, and this isn't blue skies, no wind. This is rough seas moving around the boat. So that's why we have the safety lines in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, good.
One step closer to safe.
Yeah, buddy. All right, peace.
So I am taking the first watch. Every 3 hours we will rotate. That works really well for us. We have some family and friends that we have connected with. We let them know when we left, where we're headed, what our general course is, and when we're expected to be there. We'll give intermittent updates to our connections to make sure that we have that tie. It's just a safety backup as we traverse these longer sails. So that's how it works for us, and let's see how this first shift goes. One thing we have to keep a very close eye on is we're in a heavy shipping channel right now, and so I use an app called Marine Traffic because we don't have AIS, and that app helps us be able to see where the ships are on the water. It gives us real, mostly real-time information. At least gives us an idea of whether or not ships that we see at a distance are headed towards us and what their distance is, because at night you can't necessarily tell how far someone is off in the distance. So it will tell us how many nautical miles they are from us. So we use that map in comparison to just looking, or excuse me, the app in comparison to seeing what we see in the horizon. So once you see some lights in the horizon, you can come back, double check that to the app, make sure everything's aligning. Even though we have a mostly full moon, we have very overcast skies, which is keeping the night very, very dark. So we have to rely on our instruments and additional resources like our apps to manage and make sure that we're monitoring everything closely and certainly don't have a collision. As we track this course and manage through the marine traffic, we have decided to come close to this island, which is on the left-hand side. I know it's really difficult to see. And if you can see that bright light on the horizon, that's a ship. So we're trying to stay close to the island. It gets pretty deep right here, so we should be able to do that. We stay on the inside of the shipping lane, and just let them all go off to our starboard side. It's going very smoothly so far. Just showed up right over Simi. It's beautiful. That's the tip of Simi right below it.
For the ship. Trying to cross into his lane.
Right. How's your quick yogurt meal on the go?
Really good. Passage food. Yogurt. It's really good passage food.
Passage food, yes. Super easy.
Oatmeals. Let's see, oatmeal, honey, and yogurt.
Yep.
It's a great thing.
Good stuff. I'm gonna lay back down. Time for another quick nap before our full day shifts start.
I'm happy. She gets to help me tack before she goes down her sleep.
All right. Okay. Perfect.
All right, let's tack.
Okay.
That's not good.
Prepare to tack.
I'm going to give you this before we do this.
Yep.
Okay, you ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay, tacking.
Closely held.
Yep. Get it all the way inside the rail, please. Okay, right there, perfect. Thank you. Excellent. And our wind drops to 12, right as we make the turn.
Of course.
All right, beautiful morning, day 2 on our crossing to Cyprus. We have a wind directly out of the east at about 15 to 18 knots, which is not predicted at all. We were supposed to have 0 wind, maybe 2 or 3 knots. It was supposed to be becalmed through this section we thought would be motoring, but instead we're cruising along at 6.2 knots. We're beating into it, so it's a little uncomfortable, but it's only 15 to 16, yeah, 16 to 18 knots, so it's tolerable. And yeah, so we're making way up ground, and full sails all night long. First time we've sailed at night, and we were screaming. Yeah, all night long we had this wind. It was on the beam for about midnight through about 5 a.m. We had it just forward of the beam, and we were screaming. It was great. And we saw up to about 7 knots at that point. But then about 5 in the morning it shifted. So it shifted 25 degrees right on the nose. At that point we had to start tacking back and forth upwind. It's a little bit, a little slower over the total course, but it beats beating straight into it. It's amazing how much more comfortable the boat is when you're under sail. Sails are loaded up, they hold the boat, you don't rocking back and forth. But man, in this sea state right now, if we didn't have the sails up, this would be an uncomfortable trip for sure. So part of our prep for our crossing, where we knew it was going to be a couple days, and one of the sections puts us about 50 miles offshore, we wanted to get our safety lines in place. So if you look, these orange lines run from all the way from the bow, and you can't see where it connects in, but it runs all the way back to the stern of the boat. And then what we can do is come in and pretty simply clip in with this double locking carabiner, steel carabiner. And what happens is this line is then brought back as a tether line onto my safety vest. So we run life jackets when we're out here in the open water, especially when it's this rough. Best, safest practice is probably what they call it. But yeah, so safety gear is always good. It's important stuff to have, especially when it's just Shelly and I. If one of us were to fall overboard, it would be significant. So keep everybody on board as much as we can. All right, peace.
I don't know if you can tell, but there's a line of demarcation of color in the water that goes from this like blue to green that we're just coming into right now. It's just, and it's a full line of demarcation right there. That is so crazy. That's crazy. Wow.
Just transferred from the Aegean to the Mediterranean Sea.
And the color is so different. Wow. This big tug is pulling all of these ships. 1, 2, it's like a baby intermittent tug. And 3.
Still tethered though.
Yeah. There's definitely some current running through here, and you can tell by that buoy right there as you watch the water. It's kind of deceiving because we're moving across it, but if you see right behind it, there's a little bit of an eddy, I suppose you could say. So there's a bit of a current in here.
Not much to see, honestly.
I know, it's pretty barren. With the exception of a fuel station. So we're pulling up to the island of Migisti, and it's a Greek island. We still have time in Greece, so we were able to, we're going to be able to anchor off here, top up some fuel before we make the next leg, because it's a big one. So the next leg will be a total of 1 day and 21 hours projected. We'll see. So so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we definitely wanted to make sure that fuel was not going to be a problem, because as you see, or as you hear, a lot of motoring on this trip. While we had great sailing last night, today has been a lot of motoring, and we don't expect it to change much, but always hope for the best. So want to make sure that we're prepared. We just rolled up to the dock and there was a ramp, and it was gonna be really super easy. you know, hop off the front, pull off, no big deal. Well, it's slippery when wet. I went down. It was pretty funny. Oh, the clumsy me. Well, this is just charming. Don't step on the slip. Careful. Nicely done.
Huge thanks to our patrons for helping to make our adventure possible. Join us next week as we complete our crossing and have an emergency midnight swim.
This is what stopped us in the middle of the night.